money. Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building. Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man, y'all get it. My QB got swag, my wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
Here
comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, kick Dingbat here, and welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast with Philly 500 and Joey Shakes. Joey, what is happening, my man?
I'm good. We have the finale. This is it until we hit training camp. And, we got a lot to look forward to.
We got a lot to look forward to. There's a lot going on, really. So there's a lot to kind of talk about, really. Eagles had 1 day of OTAs this week. That was kind of interesting. And, man, it's going to be I'm trying to send this one thing over, but it's going to be interesting conversation. First off, I guess we should start with the Eagles, OTAs. Vic Fangio met with the media, talked about a lot of things, really. To me, one of the things that really got me excited was what they're saying about Jordan Davis. Like, Jordan Davis looks like he looks in great shape, dude. I'm expecting a monster year from Jordan Davis. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, being the best shape of his career. I mean, and obviously giving him that picking up his fifth-year option. I mean, they have a lot of faith in what he could do. And I mean, it's kind of crazy because his pass rush rate went up. I think the first 10 games, it was like 4.4%. The last, I think the rest of the games last year was like 9.4. I mean, it jumped up incredibly, so hey, if Fangio says he's getting better, and it took him a while to get in shape too, and some guys just take, I guess he just wasn't in shape early in the season last year. Some guys just take longer to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just growing as a player. I think it happens. The other thing is we should talk about. Well, you know what? Let me say hi to everybody. I didn't say hi to everybody. What is going on, everybody? Rogue, what's going on, buddy? Jonas, Logan, Chris North, KGK, Philly fan, Donnie, thank you guys so much for being here. Philly, also, my man, what's up? MJ, thank you guys. Little G Griffith, Twits, what's going on? Thank you guys for being here. Nathan, Lit City, thank you guys. Leon Banks is here. We appreciate all you guys being here. Anybody I missed, I apologize. James, Madalena, thank you for being a member for 26 months. It's an Amen family. Dog Boomer passed away last Tuesday. Oh man.
That sucks, man.
Sorry, man. I know that's got to be rough, man. My condolences. It's not easy, man. You get attached to your pets for sure. My condolences, my friend.
Yeah.
Nick, thank you all for the super chat. Goes, give me Walker over Hendrickson. Well, that's going to be interesting conversation with Hendrickson, because the Hendrickson stuff is starting to kind of pick up again, man. I guess I'll bring, and thank you for that super chat. I'll bring it up right now because we're starting. It's like the rumor that will not die. I don't understand. Like it just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. It's crazy, Eagles Times wrote this. The Eagles are among the favorites to trade for defensive end Trey Hendrickson. I think it was an ESPN NFL insider said the Eagles are one of the teams that could be likely to get him. What are your thoughts, man, on Hendrickson? Do you want him? Think we need him? What do you got?
I mean, realistically, like with Trey, I mean, it really, he was really the first one that wanted to get paid last year. And then, everyone else started getting paid. And then they were going to trade him. And then now it's like he might hold out if he does, maybe he'll hold out with the Bengals if he doesn't get, the $30+ million. So do the Eagles want to acquire him in a trade and rent him for the year and say, you know what, come to this team and just help us out for the year? Is that a good idea? And the Eagles have 13 picks next year. 12 picks next year. Or, do you want to give him a long-term extension? I just don't see that happening. You got to get ready for Jalen Carter. You got Reed Blankenship. I mean, there's so much there's so much more. There's so many other contracts you got to take care of. We're not just talking about now. We're talking about a few years from now. Quinyon, Cooper DeJean only has 4 years because he's not a first-round pick. So, I mean, it just depends on what it's going to, he only costs like $15.5 million. He's actually less than Bryce Huff at 17. So, realistically, paying him on a cheaper price for 1 year, but is giving away a big piece of draft capital, kind of worth it if they're just renting him for the year. That's
really I don't think he'll do it. Like I don't think he would come to the Eagles without a new contract. I don't think he's going to go anywhere without a new contract. So that's why I don't see it happening, because I don't think the Eagles are going to pay a guy that much money, But I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's in terms of like what would he offer, like the Eagles as talent. I mean, he bring a lot to the table, no question about it. But does the Eagles going to pay a guy $40 million at that age? I don't think so. I don't think personally. I don't think they need to go pay a guy like that. I mean, I don't know if you had to choose between him, T.J. Watt, or Travon Walker, who would you want?
I'd honestly pick up Matthew Judon, to be honest with you, because relatively, I don't know what Matthew Judon wants to get paid. I know he's 32 years old, but I think that's the type of player that they need, a veteran in the rotation, and I just think it's going to cost too much to trade for some of these guys. I mean, Walker is a big question mark just because, they picked up his option, I think, right? And then now he's kind of locked in. So on the trade, you'd have to, have him for the next, couple of years, whatever it is. I mean, I've been on the Matthew Judon trade really the last couple of weeks because he's out there and probably won't be expensive. And, he had a little bit of a drop off. Obviously, he was with the Falcons last year with like 5.5 sacks, 5 sacks, something like that. So I think it's more affordable, and I think he'll get you a lot of productivity in a rotation, But I would love to trade for Trayvon. That'd be great. I mean, I would love to, just because of his age and
he's a Georgia Bulldog.
And he's a Georgia Bulldog.
Young, I agree with that. I agree. I mean, I don't see any of the three scenarios, because Travon Walker will probably cost you the most. TJ Watt is going to want $40+ million. I think Hendrickson's going to want that, and I just don't see the Eagles paying it. I still think most likely scenario is that they go out and bring in either Justin Simmons or another corner. I think that is something that could happen, but. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Nick, thank you for the super chat, man. Give me Walker over Hendrickson. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Leon Banks, my man. Remember, for 18 months, it goes, the Commanders are not wanting to sign McLaurin. Laugh out loud. Well, I mean, they're going to have a problem. To me, if you don't have McLaurin happy and ready to go, then what's the point of getting Deebo Samuel? Like, you got to have those guys happy. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. You know what I mean?
No, you got McLaurin that's turning 30 years old. You have Deebo that is 30 years old. And I don't know, man. You were right about the DK Metcalf stuff. Like, they probably should have signed him at what was he, 27? I mean, someone to grow with Jaden Daniels for the next few years, over $90-something million in cap space. I mean, I don't know.
To me, that would have been Washington's version of
AJ Brown.
Yeah, exactly. I think Deebo being older, to me, Deebo as a pure wide receiver doesn't scare me. He's good when you move him all around, and sometimes he's at running back in the slot, and he's all over, and you put the ball in his hands and let him get yards after getting the ball. But like, as a pure wide receiver, he doesn't scare me. DK Metcalf would have been way, way bigger of an upgrade, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Twits says year 4 for defensive tackles is usually when they explode. Not many Carters walking through the door. I agree. I love where we're at defensive tackle wise.
Yes,
because Jordan Davis looks like he's in really good shape. And Vic Fangio said, hey, look, he started getting in shape during the season, and he started playing better while he was doing it. And we saw it. NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. I think Jordan Davis is primed for a big year. And then you look at Ojomo, right? I think people are sleeping on Ojomo. And then it looks like, we know what we have in Jalen Carter. He's a stud. And then Ty Robinson, dude. I mean, he continues to be, I think, the guy, the rookie I hear the most about, dude.
Yeah.
Like he's a monster,
Yeah, and even Thomas Booker as well is another one that's produced pretty well in the rotation, not too bad. So even as the 4th or 5th guy, I think he'll do pretty well. So I think their DT position is pretty solid.
Solid. It is. It is. Drew says, "What up, 500?" And Joey, what's going on, my man? How are you? Can you see, if you listen to what Fangio's saying about Jalen Hunt and stuff, Jalen Hunt is way ahead of schedule, dude. I think Jalen Hunt's going to have a monster year. I think he's a stud too. I think we're full of studs. I think that's why Cowboy fans are so jealous, dude.
It might be.
It's true. Twingo says, I think Ramsey rumor is all media created. I don't think there's any validity to it. It's hard to believe that a guy that would run Fangio out of Miami, and really complain about him, all of a sudden they're going to think about bringing him in. I do think, though, that the cornerback spot, they want to give it to Ringo. They want Ringo to win that job. But if for some reason he doesn't, I would not be surprised to see them go out and get another corner.
Even Fangio said at the press conference, he needs reps. It's all about reps because he hasn't had an opportunity. You just gotta throw him in. We talked about putting Ringo in a game cold. You can't analyze that for the year of what he's going to be next year. Put him in an offseason program. Put him as the number 2. You got the best receivers in the league right now he can go against. It's the perfect opportunity. It just comes to Fangio said literally reps, and you got to give it to him, see what he can do. That's it.
Yep. Nigel says, what up, 500? Joey, it's going to be an exciting year to see what the Eagles are doing after Super Bowl. Yeah, man, it's going to be fun. I expect it to be. I think it's going to be another magical year, dude. I think we're in this weird run right now. I feel really good about where we're at.
Now, how do you feel about Kevin Patullo?
If I was asking Patullo to basically, come in and give my offense a new look with these fancy routes for receivers to run and spicing up the passing game and all those kind of things, I would be very concerned. But I think I feel like the Eagles are going to come out, and I feel like teams are going to know what they're going to do, and we're going to do it anyways, and nobody can stop us. I think we're a team that's built to run the ball. I think the style we played is going to be similar like last year, and so I think because of that, I don't think it's going to be an issue. My other thing is this: I really believe that Jalen Hurts is the de facto offensive coordinator at this point. The guy's had so many different coaches through college and in the pros. At what point does he get stuff and understand from everything that is going on? So I'm not worried about Patullo too much.
I mean, we know that Jalen Hurts, he has control of the line of scrimmage. He can change the plays whenever he wants. He can audible whenever he wants to. And there's all these rumors coming out that it's really not the OCs. Hurts is very involved in game planning. And if that's the case and that's what's been working the last few years, then I guess that's how it's going to go. And the one thing I like about Patullo is he communicates a lot. And the offensive lineman said earlier in the offseason that he's very detailed and which is good. And realistically, there's really no excuses because he's been here the last few years. This ain't no new guy coming in.
Yeah.
So you have to put that into effect too.
Yeah, I agree. Kyle, they were super checkers. What if Mukumba was drafted to replace Blankenship? I don't think I think if anything, Sidney Brown would replace Blankenship. He's more of to me. He's closer to Blankenship than Mukumba. I think he's more of a free safety, coverage safety. And going back on Patullo and stuff with that offense real quick. I think the Eagles, like, you mark my words, we're going to hear during the season, the Eagles are a running team. They're built to run the ball. See, teams have not adjusted to the Eagles yet. Teams are built to stop the passing game and get to the quarterback. The Eagles are built to run, and they're gonna shut down a lot of people. Now, if I was asking for some like huge revolutionary passing type game, and you're installing all these different high fancy passing game different things, I would be more worried about Patullo, but that's not what the Eagles are. They're not the Chicago Bears. They're not the coach of the Bears. We know what they're going to do. It's just whether you can stop them.
It's true.
Nick Daver Super Chat goes, I think this D could be like the 2022 with 70 sacks. Wow. That'd be crazy. I think this defense is going to be as good, if not better, than last year's. It's going to take a while, and we'll have to get towards like end of the year. But I think by the time we get into the playoffs, I think they're going to be right there with them, dude. I do.
Yeah, I agree.
I still would have liked to have Dougie P or the never aging Pete Carroll. Told you see that you want what as a coach or offensive coordinator. I never was really impressed with Doug's offense. Like, to me, my opinion of Doug Peterson is that he's better coach when you have a quarterback like Nick Foles than when you have a quarterback like Carson Wentz or Trevor Lawrence. Like, I just think he's a dump, and he's a short passing game type coach with the occasional shots down deep. I don't know. He didn't do it for me as offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Drew says 500 Joy question. Do you see the Eagles Howie making any more moves? If so, what do you think? I do. I think the Eagles are going to make another move. I think you've got at least one significant move left, which reminds me, I'll mention this just because I didn't. The Eagles claimed running back Kelly and Robinson and waived wide receiver Iffy Adeyu. So they signed a kid for basically 1 day and then cut him, and they claimed the running back. Running back looks, speedy and stuff, but will he make the team? I just don't know. We'll see.
I mean that was they're taking a chance on a draft pick from the Jags last year, a 5th round pick from last year. So he's young. So really good in open space. He's been questioned on his size as a rotational back. I mean, really questioned as if he could be a dual threat back for an offense rotational for the running back spot. He only played 4 games last year, was hurt the rest of the year. So that just adds more to the backfield. I mean, realistically, it's like, isn't the 3rd running back spot like Will Shipley's job to take at this point?
Yeah, if it's Shipley, I think you got a legit battle for that number 2 running back. Dylan is going to be interesting because if he's healthy, I think it'll be fine. But what if he's not healthy? I think running back is one of those areas that the Eagles could address because you're a running back. You're a running team. You're going to maybe not 50%, but, I think 45, 55 pass to run ratio. Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
And I think they don't want to. I think they're going to come in the season. They're going to want to cut down on Barkley's carries. But I think by the time it's all said and done, I think he's going to get a lot of carries again.
Yeah, and we got to see how his body holds up throughout the year. And you said, AJ Dillon. This is a guy who had a neck injury. He hasn't played since December almost at the end of December of 2023. So it's been a while. So
yeah. Dave does says, who do you guys want at the open corner and safety? Oh, you mean like to win the job? Mukumba and Ringo. I watching Ringo at OTAs, like, he's big, dude. Like, I think I'm telling you right now, I think people are going to damn, this team. I love this team. I just freaking love this team because I'm telling you, I'm convinced that all these young guys are good, and it doesn't make sense because usually it doesn't work out that way. But I close my eyes, dude. I think Ringo's going to be locked down. I think he's going to be way better. Okay, maybe not locked down like like to Q's level, but I think he's going to be way better than people think, dude. I do. And I think that Jalen Hunt's going to be better than people think. Nolan Smith's going to be better. Like, I think this defense is going to be just as good, if not better, than a year ago.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is we are going to double moonwalk everybody's ass this year. I can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, Fangio talked about, like we said, Ringo needs reps, and he talked about safety. And safety, I'm like far from worried because, even if it's going to take until preseason to see what the safety position is going to look like, if Makuba is going to be the guy or not. Hopefully he will. That's what we're hoping for. But the background move, it's going to be right around the corner. If Makuba, God forbid, knock on wood, any injury or any, missing a lot of time, Justin Simmons is waiting in the wings right now. We already know.
And they might bring him in anyways. It may happen anyways. 40-6, remember, for 20 months. Thank you so much. He goes, I want one more pass rusher. Howie's not done yet. Man, the hippie signed, and all the Steeler fans talking, though, with their chest puff out to bet that the Birds will have a better record. They're saying that they're going to have a better record than the Eagles because Rodgers signed with the Steelers. I like how you call him the hippie. He has become a hippie. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Rodgers has left, but if he has anything left, they could be pretty good, I guess. I don't know why they would get rid of Pickens, though. Like, to me, you want Rodgers, Pickens, and DK. So we'll see.
I don't get these teams that sign these quarterbacks, these older quarterbacks for very short term that just – I don't get these teams that do that. And, especially when they want to get young talent on the team and they put an older quarterback behind there to win a quick championship for this year, next year. How much time does he have?
It's like, to me, it's like the worst position to be on.
It's purgatory. I mean,
it is because when you're never good enough to win the whole thing, but you're never bad enough to get the franchise changing guys at the top of the draft. How do you go about it? I know people don't like to hear the tank and stuff, and I'm not saying players should ever tank, but there comes a time where you're a GM and you've got to construct a team that is not going to be good, but you're going to get a top draft pick. You just have to. That's why I don't understand what the hell the Giants are doing. Like, why would you sign Russell Wilson? For what? What are you going to go from 3 wins to 6 wins? What's the big deal about that? You're better off losing again and getting Manning. Maybe this kid they drafted will pan out. I don't know, but it's a bad cycle to be in, dude. That's why you saw Howie Roseman break that cycle. Remember with Carson, he traded then he traded again. Like, he literally went up the draft board with multiple trades, and he gave away a lot, but that's the only way to do it. It's true.
And teams don't want to do it. A lot of teams don't want to do it.
No. Kyle Davis Super Chico, Steelers signed Tommy Chong. Okay.
Tommy Chong?
Yeah, I guess. Nathan says, yeah, Barkley's going over how I'm backwards. Oh, yeah, Barkley's going over how I'm at backwards jump. That was one of the hardest hits of the season. I remember freaking out a little. Yeah, with that with the hit when he came down, you mean? Does he mean the backflip when he came down?
When he came down, got hit. Yeah.
Yeah, he did get hit, yeah. SC Birds fan says, Tori, no way how he's going to 26 and 13 picks. Well, we talked about the Bryce Huff trade, right? I mean, we did talk about it, did we not?
Did that happen?
Can't remember.
I don't remember.
Well,
no, I don't think. I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure.
I can't remember either. It's June. Everything's bleeding into everything else. Ginger, welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for joining. But I assume you liked the Bryce Huff trade, right?
Oh yeah. We were waiting.
Dude, there was a cigar shop I drove by today. The name of it was Huff and Puff. I'm like, dude, that's Bryce Huff's store.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love the trade. If in case we didn't talk about the trade, I can't remember. To get what Howie got was just masterful. And yeah, I know it was a mistake to sign him, but I mean, how many people actually are able to, still get something for him? They got a lot of picks now. What, 13 picks? What are they going to do with all those picks?
No, wait a second. Wait, no, I don't know. I don't think we got information on what that pick was. It was a mid-rounder,
it's a 5th
but
round pick. It's a 5th that could become a 4th in 2026.
Oh, it's a 26.
26.
Oh shit,
yeah.
That's good. That's really good.
Great. Yeah. And he might go to 49ers and be better. He might be way better.
The deep rotation? Yeah, I think he will. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Howie will probably burn up 5 picks trading up twice next year. We need to get our tight end of the future, and he will probably also trade up for an edge early. Our roster could even be better next year. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got 3 thirds, right? So you got to take one of those thirds. You got to take one of those thirds and move back up. Like, I would take the 3rd and the 2nd and try to go back up into the 1st or something.
Well,
like, you got to try. Like, I would not mind trading back in the 1st and see, I think the value of that 1st round pick, that extra year, is huge on a contract. So if I'm at 34, let's say, and I can get up to 32 and make that pick I want, a 1st round pick, I'm doing it, dude. I'm doing it.
Yeah, that Jets 3rd rounder is one we definitely have to look out for, because the Jets might be pretty bad this year. We'll see. Their defense looks good, but yeah.
I think they're going to make like I expect the Eagles to make a move. I think we'll get one more move before the season, and I think trade deadline is where Howie's going to make a move if need be.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of ammo. We got tons of ammo.
Plenty of ammo.
If you pick all those picks, holy crap.
Yeah.
Jack Dwight, thank you for super chat. He goes, my biggest concerns are cornerback number 2 and safety. Not a big Blankenship believer. Just haven't seen anything that says Ringo is the man. Kind of stiff in the hips. I think, I get it. You haven't seen Ringo play. He hasn't shown you enough. And I think that's completely fair. I like Blankenship, though. I thought Blankenship was really solid last year. Way better than I thought he was going to be. So I feel good with him, but the other safety is a concern. I think Ringo needs a play. Ringo needs a play. He needs the reps. I could see Ringo struggling against really fast wide receivers, even though he's fast himself in 40 speed. But I think Ringo's got to play. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I agree.
Christopher Michael, thank you for the super chat. He goes, random question for you guys. Who is your favorite Eagle player of all time and why? Mine's Dawkins, heart, leadership, big hitter, tone setter. I'll let you answer that one first.
Probably when I was growing, I'll probably have to say Deshaun Jackson, just for how explosive he was, and just he was always exciting for me. I still have his Reebok jersey. I still have like a Reebok jersey from him for years. I used to be a diehard Deshaun Jackson fan for a lot of years. So
yeah, I would say Reggie White was my favorite Eagle, and still is my favorite Eagle of all time. Reggie was a man amongst boys, and I just remember going to training camp and watching the other players, how they reacted to Reggie White. Was like almost like a fan reacted to Reggie White. Like he was clearly the leader, and he was one of the most dominant defensive players I've ever seen. And then personality wise, he was a guy I thought that I thought he walked the walk, and so Reggie White would be my guy. Dawkins would probably be my number 2.
Yeah,
but Reggie. Eric Allen and Brian Dawkins, they're great players. Yeah. I probably put Randall 3. I'm a big Randall Cunningham guy. Ghostface Digital says, what up, 500 Joey? What's going on, man? How are you? Twit says Willie T. Willie T. There's a name from the past. Yeah. Pitts may be from Philly, but he's soft. Yeah. What do you think about the Kyle Pitts calls? I won't say rumors, but calls that the Eagles should try to bring him in.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now, I've really been on the train for Darnell Washington if they were going to get rid of him. Kyle Pitts, I'm not sure how serious the interest is with the Eagles, but it just depends on his blocking and what do they really see him as. Where do they value him? Do they value him as a number 2? I'm not really sure, but
see, the thing with Pitts to me is the same thing with a lot of these tight ends. Like, I don't like my tight ends to basically give a defense the ideas of what I'm going to do on a play, because Pitts comes in, can he really block? The thing I like about Goddard is he could block and he could catch. So he doesn't tip a defense off. You know what I'm saying? So to me, because of that, I almost rather, I know he's got talent in the passing game, but I like the idea of a tight end that doesn't tip a defense off. I don't know if Pitts can do that. Nick, thank you for the super chat. He goes, do you think Carter can be better than Jerome? I think if Carter continues his development and plays long enough, I do think he can be better than Jerome. Yeah. He's, to me, the closest thing we've seen to Jerome. So he just needs to continue to get better, and he continues to need to stack the years. But, yeah, I think he could be.
Yeah, he hasn't even hit his ceiling yet. That's really scary, even after a pretty good year.
No, not at all. Kay Robinson says, what do you guys think about A.J. Dillon? If healthy, I have a good feeling about to me, it's all about his health, his neck, right? Like, I worry a little bit about his health. Remember Jordan Howard with all the stingers and how much time he would lose?
Mm-hmm.
I think you need him to be healthy. If he is healthy, I think you got 3 capable running backs. Obviously, you got Barkley. I think Dillon can be very effective. And I think Shipley in his second year is going to be much better too.
Yeah, someone's got to take the snaps with 2-minute offense. Someone's got to take those snaps. I don't know if it's going to be Barkley. I don't know if it changes with Patul in that regard. But, yeah, you can use A.J. Dillon's a nice balance in the pass. You can use him in the passing attack. North and south runner. He's just physical. Carry some guys with him for a few extra yards. Like he could tire out defenses. You got 2 capable backs, especially Dillon. He's a missile, man. He really is.
Yeah,
he's healthy.
Tortiville says, I don't think Carter will put up the sack numbers like Jerome. Part obviously due to Jerome playing next to Reggie. Well, we'll see. I think that the advantage Carter has for putting up sack numbers is that we're in a league that passes way more. What did quarterbacks average throw a game back in Jerome's time? Like 20 passes a game. Now they're throwing 30, 40 times. So he gets more opportunities to sack. I think he's a double-digit sack guy. I think that Carter becomes, will develop into a 10, 12 sack guy. I do.
Yeah, and I think
we'll see.
And it really depends on what's going on next to him as well. Like the problem we had even in 23, even when you had Carter in the building is like, well, you have those one-on-ones on the outside, and like those guys that really have to win their matchups on the outside. So Jordan Davis really has to play to his full extent, and like Nolan Smith is hopefully coming to his own now. Jalen Hunt is coming into his own now. So it would be easy. They just double team Davis, double team, Jalen Carter, and just handle those one-on-ones on the outside. So hopefully it's going to look a lot better this year. And then the linebacker fits on top of it. The linebackers come down, run, downhill. You get those fits perfectly. So,
I'm going to predict this: 5 sacks for the Eagles week 1 versus Dallas. They're going to have 5 sacks.
Huh?
Yeah,
Shit.
in a win. Tanner Plummer, thank you for. He said, I just realized there are 2 AJs on the team now. Yeah, AJ Dillon, AJ Brown.
Yeah, yep.
It's true. Jay said, thank you for the super chat. He goes, hated to see Becton go. He created highway lanes, but Howie definitely created big time depth and competition for the best O-line in the game. I wanted to see Becton stay too. And I thought he was going to take less to stay. Like, I thought he really would have. But when you look at some of the guys that they drafted, right, the kid they traded for from Houston, like I think there's a lot of depth on this offensive line now, dude. There's a lot.
Yeah, didn't they sign? Yeah, they signed another guy from Clemson, undrafted guy. They signed a few guys already. They had depth at tackle now. They got depth at guard, especially, and a lot of competition there. The backup center, Kendall, high praise. Miles Hinton is going to be, from Michigan, is going to be the one where you'll be taking a close look at him if he's going to take over Lane Johnson's job after 26. So he's a guy that will definitely be in the running, maybe,
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Alfredo, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, take those 136 carries out of those 436 Barkley had and split those between Shipley and Dillon. 300 touches for Barkley is a lesser workload than 436. It is. If Barkley gets 300 carries, he may get you 2,000 yards again this season.
Yeah, it's true.
Or he might, and you're right about that. He might. Nick, thank you for super chat. Goes, when Carter gets the holding calls is the key. Yeah, exactly. When he starts getting the respect from the refs and he starts getting those holding calls and teams aren't getting away with it, you're going to see his sack numbers begin to spike, dude. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
500, where did you get the hat? What hat am I wearing? Oh, I got this on the Eagles website, the Eagles store. That's where I got it. Guys, Carter will get 15 sacks with Davis and Robinson. 15 sacks. Jeez, for a defensive tackle, that's really high. I think he's about 9 to 10 is where I have him next year. I have Nolan Smith around 13, 14. I have Jalix Hunt about 6.5 to 8.5. I think Azeez Ojulari is another 6.5 kind of guy, 8 sacks. Who else am I missing? I forget. But yeah, I think sacks won't be a problem. I was hoping we would hear more about Keegan at guard. I thought he would be in the mix to start, but nobody's talking about him. I'm not sold on Steen. It's too hard to know during OTAs. Like OTAs is a lot of feeling out process, When we get to training camp and we start seeing how they line up, I think that's when we'll start to know, because last year nobody was talking about Zach Bond starting at linebacker. Nobody, it wasn't even an
Devin
issue.
White.
So it just, it's too. I think it's too early to know what Keegan is going to be.
Yes,
Miles Davis Super Chat goes, Dak is sitting goose if Mahomes can't get away. Oh, I agree.
That is true.
I'm not even reading that James. He's not getting. Nothing's going to happen at Saquon. The hell badass. Thank you, Tanner. My man, Antonio Holmes, what's going on, buddy? He goes, Jerome played 5 seasons before his tragedy. He had 4, 5, 10.5, and 1 and 9. Carter is ahead 2 seasons, 4.5 sacks, 6 sacks is in perfect direction, plus Super Bowl victory. I love JB and JC is my favorite. Well, like I said, this type of football is like different than then because guys throw more. They throw more today than they did in Jerome's day. So he's going to get double the opportunity. Look, I think Carter is the real deal, man. I think Carter is going to continue to be a dominant force for a long time.
Right into our lap.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's beautiful. Ivan, a member for 14 months. Thank you so much. Which NFC teams do you see as a contender? Well, obviously, I think the Eagles are a contender. I think the Lions, the
Rams, yeah.
Yeah, those are my top 3 NFC conference teams. I kind of go back with Washington. Like, I don't know. I think Washington's pretty good, but there's a part of me that really wonders if they're not going to take a step back. So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on Washington.
Yeah, because they retained a lot of guys. I think with the money they had, they probably could have done better. I mean, if Howie had over $90 million in cap space, I mean, we wouldn't be in that situation. Obviously, you'd be, you'd have to gut your team like 2 years prior to like even having money like that, and then adding pieces. But yeah, man, it's I don't know. I don't even with the receivers, even the run game going forward. I
mean, Daniel's not going to surprise nobody this year. Everybody's ready for him this year.
Yeah,
you don't know how
pressure.
Quarterback his second season's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what to expect from Washington. I think a team like Chicago could be a surprise team. In terms of being a playoff team. I don't know what to expect from the 49ers either. There's another team are they healthy? Is McCaffrey back? Where are they going to be? And then I think Dallas is I see Dallas as like a possible playoff team. They're like borderline to make it or not. So, I mean, we'll see. But I think the 3 big teams in the conference are the Eagles, the Lions, and the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, even the Vikings are like a team, and I understand they moved on from Sam, which probably was the best. They moved on from Sam Darnold, which probably was the best move for them. They should stick with their draft pick at JJ McCarthy, and he was having a really good offseason, and then he ended up getting hurt unfortunately. He's got great receivers. They got a defense over there.
They got players,
but it's up to that quarterback realistically.
That's it. Yeah. That's what I just don't know. Antonio Holmes says Minnesota can't sleep on them. They had a bunch of free agents, good draft.
Yeah.
Quarterback question. Yeah. It's the quarterback. That's the whole thing with them. So hard to know. But I give Minnesota credit because they almost signed Darnold to a big contract. Yeah. They almost got caught up in that. And if they take him and sign him, it would have been a huge mistake, dude. So I think they dodged a bullet. Now, I don't know what this kid McCarthy, I don't know what he is in terms of how good he's going to be. So, Minnesota, right. Even if they're good, though, we know what they do at the end of the day. They choke. They choke. I think in this league, I think the Eagles are so far ahead of everybody else because I think that, and I keep saying this, and I know they're going to talk about this during the year, but the Eagles are built differently. They've got one of the best offensive lines I've seen since the 90s. Then they have an extremely good running game. Defenses are not built to play teams that will pound the ball and wear you down like that. They're built to get to the quarterback and to stop the passing game. That's how defenses are built. They're not built. This is kind of like old style, old fashioned, I think teams like the Eagles, I think teams like the Ravens, I think even Detroit, if they choose to do it, I think teams that can run the ball and wear you out are going to be the teams that are there at the end in the championship games. I think the Eagles are ahead. Yeah. If you look at Detroit, I mean not Detroit, the Rams.
Right.
Rams can't stop the run. If you can't stop the run, you can't beat the Eagles. Dallas can't stop the run. They can't stop the run on the Eagles.
Yeah, and I think, and not even from a play calling standpoint or what the Eagles have on the roster, I think you have the right head coach in Nick Sirianni that knows how to get these guys prepared for the playoffs. The Eagles don't go off the script like a lot of teams do when they get into the playoffs. They play more conservative. They change their playbook so much. They use what they were successful in the regular season to be really successful in the playoffs. And you have a lot of experience now. Like a lot of these players have experience now of what a whole season looks like now, especially the young guys like Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Like these young guys now have all that experience of now they know how that shit feels. When they go into a playoff game, ignore the outside noise. Like they are just laser focused. I mean, it's huge going into this 25 season. Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah. Did you see? I was watching WIP. They had, they had Seth Joyner on, and then Cooper DeJean came on at the same time. Seth Joyner was like shocked. He's like, "This is a big ass corner." He was really kind of surprised how much bigger DeJean is than people think. I don't think people realize. He's a pretty big.
What is
corner.
he? What the hell is he?
He's like, I think he's like 6'1", 6'2", like 210,
really?
something like that. Yeah, he's a good sized defensive back. That's why he could play every position. I mean, one of the reasons,
Yeah, I mean, you even heard from even the press conference. He said he's been putting him at safety too, and he feels.
I mean, what did we talk about, dude? What did we talk about?
All over.
Cooper DeJean all over. That's exactly what they're teaching him. They're going to teach him how to play every position, and they're going to use him in that matchup. He is going to be the Malcolm Jenkins of this defense. The Brian Dog. I'm telling you, it's the way Fangio is building him. It is. I knew that's what they were going to do with him. I knew it. I've talked about it all last year, and now we're seeing it. Ivan, thank you for the super chat. Because honestly, I feel like Detroit missed their window. Well, Detroit's got a lot of question marks because Detroit lost all their coaches, all their, we know how that could go. So you might be right about Detroit. They might have missed the window.
I mean, even the assistant coach, they lost they lost probably almost everything. Like besides their head coach, they lost almost everybody. That's how crazy it is. So
yeah. Darlene says, we got the Philadelphia Flyer fans think they can play everything. They can be quarterback, running back, wide receiver. You guys just full of it? That's all you guys are, full of it. We're Super Bowl champions. I mean, you can't be full of it when you're champions. Like, how could you just be full of it, all of it, if you just won the Super Bowl? I don't understand that. We can't be full of it. We won. We won. Torteville says, it sounds like Fangio is considering moving Coop to safety to play 100% snaps. Yeah, that's the thing. They don't want Cooper DeJean off the field. He's trying to keep his best talented player. So in base, they want him to be able to play at corner on the outside and to play at safety if need be. Cooper DeJean is going to be able to play every position. Q is going to be able to play both sides. And they're going to teach those guys, and they're going to use them accordingly. The question is going to be interesting with Q is, once he can play both sides, will the Eagles let him shadow the best receiver? Well, eventually will his development lead to where you're going up against Justin Jefferson, you follow him all over? You know what I mean? That's what I would like to see with Q.
They like playing their guys to one side.
They like playing zone and playing one side. I get it, but to get the best out of him and the most out of him, I wonder.
Yeah.
Afraido, thank you for super chat. Goes, need Vic Fangio for another 5 years. I think you'll get him. I mean, he has no interest in being a coach. He's like Jim Johnson at this point, System of the Knot, remember for 55 months is 500. What would you give up for Pitts? If I decided I want Kyle Pitts, and I'm not saying I do, but if I did, just for argument's sake, 4th round, no more than
a mid-rounder. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way I'm going higher than that.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise I have no interest.
If the Steelers make a trade for Jonnu Smith and it hasn't happened yet, and there's still interest there, Jonnu Smith from Miami, if the Steelers make that trade and Darnell has 2 more years on his contract for like 1.4 and then 1.7 mil cap hits, I mean, Darnell Washington can block. He's not as fast as Goddard, but I think as a number 2, Darnell Washington would be amazing.
Oh, he's getting shopped, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. That's the rumor right now.
That would be.
I like that better. I'd rather trade. I'd give up a higher pick for him than go after Pitts.
The thing with Pitts is, like, if Pitts is in there, you got to throw. You're throwing, right? I mean, they do try to run with Calcaterra, and I think he's been a weakness in the run game. But yeah, I like the idea of a tight end that does not tip off the defense. You know, I just do.
A tight end with a tip.
Tight end with a tip. That sounds so pause, no diddy-ish. Eagles says we need Eagles football back like right now because I'm sick and tired of the Phillies sucking it up every single game. Eagles are the only Philly team that can win a play. I know. I'm jonesing for football. I watched the other day. I did a doubleheader. I watched the NFC Championship game, and then I went and watched the Super Bowl over again. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. It is great. It really is. You know.
So we didn't talk about it. Saquon cover of Madden 26.
Yeah. There's a I don't try to do it on purpose, but I can't subconsciously. I'm superstitious, so on that level I don't like it. But I think the curse was actually broken a couple times. So I feel much better about that. You know, I thought it was cool that he's on there. And I think it's cool that it's Kelly Green. Kelly Green took 2 years, and it's already on the cover of Madden.
There you go. You know, he was wearing it.
But yeah, I know it's crazy. I think Barkley's going for 2K again. And I know it's never been done before. I know, but it's just like a gut feeling. You know, I'm just gut feeling, gut level. I feel like the Eagles are going to be dominant this year. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're going to blow a lot of teams out. I think they're going to have some ridiculous record like 15-2. I think they're going to be just better than everybody else. And I think Barkley could run for 2K again. It's just like a gut feeling. I don't say I have anything. I don't know that they're going to give him 400 carries or anything like that. I'm just saying I got a weird feeling, dude. I just got a weird feeling.
Yeah, I mean, just got to see how his body holds up. And, you know, like these other backs have to produce. I'm hoping the number 3 spot, like someone, you know, someone's got to be ready. Like I said, I don't even feel positive that AJ Dillon will stay healthy in this offseason program. I'm hoping he does, and he probably won't get a lot of snaps in preseason. If he's healthy until preseason, they're just gonna rest him for weeks. They're just gonna rest his ass and then finally unleash him. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Frank says, do you think Howie trades up at 26 draft, takes tight end Max Clare from Ohio State or Ely Stowers from? I mean, it's way too early to know who he'll take, but the chances of the Eagles trading up in the first round is like almost a certainty. They do it almost every year, so I think they're going to be trading up. From wherever they are, I do.
Yeah, except they tried to trade up with every team.
Nobody wants to trade with them. I know, but they still did it at the end, right? They still traded up one spot with the Chiefs.
It makes me laugh that ever since like the Eagles drafted Jalen Carter, I swear, and this year, like these teams that are not even getting like blue chip players, like they're getting like ceiling players with a lot of ceiling but a lot of unknowns, like giving up second day picks plus future first round picks just to get a guy like that and move up. It's insane, man. It's insane.
G5900. Remember, for 20 months, says Jalen Carter will be the highest paid defender. Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Jeffrey says 11 picks. I think once the compensatory picks are given out, won't it be like 13? That's what I was reading.
It should be 12. I mean, it's
12, even with the Bryce after the Bryce Huff trade.
Oh no, Bryce, no. Yeah, it will be. It will be 13. I forgot.
Yeah. So you got what? You got the first, the second. You got 3/3, right? What do you got? Like 2 fourths or something like that? 2 or 3 fourths. A bunch of fifths. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, dude. They're not keeping all those picks. So, you know, they have firepower to go up. They could go way up. I mean, you could take your second round pick, right? A second and a fourth, let's say, go back into the first round and then turn around, take a couple of your threes and go back up into the second. Howie's going to be able, it's going to be insane, dude.
Yeah. So they have a first, they have a second, 3/3.
3/3.
They have 2 fourths. They have 2 fifths. That's the comp pick and the Bryce Huff 5th rounder. So that's 2 fifths. Oh, sorry.
3 fifths.
4. No, 4. 1,
4
2,
because of Houston, right?
Yes. And the Texans, the CJ trade.
CJ trade.
So 4 fifths. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 fifths. Oh,
5 fifths and 1/7.
So you turn 2 of those fifths into a third somewhere. You turn a couple of those thirds into a second somewhere.
We're set.
I mean, you know how he's going to trade a couple of, he'll take a fifth and trade a fifth for a fourth in the next draft.
They always do that.
Stuff like that.
Always got to be prepared
crazy,
for the
dude.
future. They're loaded, man. Yeah.
I used to hate how he picks. Now I don't mention his name. No, he changed his philosophy.
Yeah.
And he's even talked about this, especially after the Rager draft. They would look at, like primarily production and how many numbers you were putting up and things like that. And they would miss out on talent. And I think school, he smartfully said, you know what? Alabama and Georgia, those are the teams that produce. Let me draft from them.
They never drafted from SEC schools ever. Like after they drafted Devontae Smith and Dickerson, that's what. And I think Jeffrey Lurie I think Howie made some picks on his own, but he had a lot of guys on his shoulder like Andy Weidel, and there was, and I know that, the ownership has gotten involved in some of these draft picks as well. And, he's changed his philosophy. I mean, they're paying running backs, they're extending running backs, they're paying linebackers. I mean, they're signing linebackers. Now they're drafting linebackers first round. I mean, it's fucking crazy now.
Yeah, it is. And I love every second of it.
Yep.
Philly Strong says, yo, 500 just listened to you on the podcast on Twitter, and you should do more podcasts like that. Thanks, man. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Yeah, that was fun. I'll definitely do more of that going into the future for sure. Jack Dwight, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, a few of the bad picks were actually Jeffrey Lurie.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, might have been. But now you look at it like now we're in a position where you're hitting on your second round picks. You're hitting on your third round picks. And now we're going, okay, we've got to not go spend money because we've got all these contracts coming up at the same time. It's absolutely crazy, dude. It really is.
I mean, technically, like if you want to take like Campbell, if you want to take Makuba, you want to take Robinson. And I mean, that's 3 guys that might produce, even though Robinson's going to be in a rotation. But still, I mean, in another couple of years, you might hit on Miles Hinton. That draft might look a lot better in a couple of years.
Well, look at last year's draft. You hit on Q, you hit on Cooper, you hit on Jalen Hunt. They all contribute. They all play, right? Then you have the Jalen Carter draft. Jalen Carter is what we thought he would be. Nolan Smith, look how he produced, right? Even a Devontae Smith draft, right?
Yeah.
They drafted Devontae, and then who was it? Cam Jurgens, right? And then they had Jordan Davis, and you had Landon Dickerson or whatever, however it went. But, I mean, you're hitting on second, third round picks. It's unbelievable. Now you're going to give Howie 13 picks. That's crazy.
Now, go ahead with your next.
No, I'm finished. I said what I had to say.
So what do you think about the news of Jihad Campbell now? Now, the rumors were before we'd heard any press conferences that Jihad Campbell would be back by training camp. Now it looks like he's going to be out a little bit longer into August.
Not a problem at all.
Okay.
I have no issue with it. Jack Dwight, man, thank you for that super chat, by the way. I mean, you don't play preseason till August. I don't even think they put the pads on until August. So you got what? You report like the 24th, 25th. You practice, which is like the first few practices are like glorified OTAs or minicamp. And then it's really like maybe the first week of August you put the pads on for the first time. So to me, I think he'll be fine. I mean, remember, Cooper DeJean missed all of preseason until that last game.
The last preseason game.
Yeah. So, it took him 4 weeks. He was ready to go. I think he'll be fine, but I think we're going to see him start like when he comes in, he'll back up Trotter. Because I think Trotter's starting at that linebacker spot while Dean's out.
Yeah. Well,
and we'll see.
Yeah, well, with Campbell out now, and like I said, it's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing either, because now like Fangio gets to see like what he has. Like Trotters, we've seen a good amount, not too much, but we've seen him flash. He's got to wrap up a little better. I think he's got to wrap up a little bit better. But now I guess to see what Smile Munden can do, Smile Madon can do. Smile Madon. Oh, you get to see some of these. You get to see some of the depth now. So in case you have injuries later on, you have guys that have had reps. You know what I mean? So I think they're in a good spot. We'll see.
Yeah, I do too. Jack Dwight, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, we will lose good players trying to sneak them on to the practice squad. This 90-man roster is loaded. It is. It's gonna be interesting to see how he handles the roster, dude.
Yeah, there will be usually every year there will be a fake injury report. He will shelf some guys away that they don't want to get rid of.
Somebody will hurt their toe, an Avante Maddox style, and that'll be it. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. I think there's interesting positions. I think one of the positions we've got to watch in terms of like practice squad and guys we keep is those running backs, because I think this team's gotta have multiple backs. Like I think the one thing that could really hurt us is if we're thin at depth wise at running back. Like we need to make sure we have decent running backs, because I think we're gonna run the ball a lot.
Oh yeah.
Smile Mundan. What is it? What's his name? How's it pronounced?
Smile Munden.
Smile Munden, or Smile Mundan.
Yeah, they say it's Smile, but it's like SMAEL.
Dude, I barely could pronounce my name, let alone
you're not saying his name with respect.
Smile.
You don't respect.
Put some respect on his name. That's what I always get. Put some respect on his name.
It's fucking Smile. It's Sman Madan. It's
Smile.
Kylie Ringo. It's yeah. Well,
doesn't
you say
Kylie sound easier? I call him Johnny Ringo. I'm talking to somebody at work. I'm like, Johnny Ringo,
bro.
They're like, what do you mean, Johnny? Like from Tombstone?
It's so funny because like I didn't know what that shit was from. And I ran into a clip from Val Kilmer in that fucking movie saying it, like a random clip. I was like, "Oh shit, that's what that shit's from."
Yeah. You would know. Imagine if you watched something about Mary, you would know what Franks and Beans.
Imagine,
are.
right? It's been
Franks
like
and Beans.
So many years.
Franks and Beans. Yeah, exactly. No, it's gonna be interesting. I think this team's loaded, dude. And I think every time I say that, Dallas fans, they get so pissed off about it. But it's true. Yeah,
we're ready for the season and we're ready for the draft next year. Like we have shit to look forward to now. Like it's not a 1-year thing anymore. Like this team is going to be in the mix. So
Kylan Robinson is, but yeah, we signed that Robinson kid.
Yeah.
We took him off waivers. I looked at a little bit of him. He does look fast. I like it, And then Chris says the dude out of Rutgers is a giant. Oh, the offensive tackle. Now they're going to move him to guard, right? He was taking reps.
Yeah.
And OTAs at guard. So he was taking at guard. He's what, like 6'8", 350. Forget his name or off the top of my head, but he was taking snaps at OTAs at guard. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Stoutland, dude.
I mean, well, the idea of Becton playing guard was Nick Sirianni. Sirianni was the one that said put him at guard.
Was it Sirianni?
Yeah. Yeah,
that
was the news
interesting?
that came out. I mean, and that was the best thing that ever happened. That was the best thing. Like you think you can't get a guy that's a tackle at a much bigger size than some of these guards that are out there and put him as a guard. I mean, it fucking worked. I mean, it did.
I know Stoutland, what he can do with the offensive line. It would not surprise me if Becton goes to San Diego or LA
and shits
it's
the
not
bed.
even the same.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me.
I hope not, because he really, I mean, because he held out for so long, he didn't get signed immediately. I thought there was a little bit of a chance, but
yeah,
I don't know what stopped it. I mean, obviously, well, I forgot what the contract was. I thought it was like 20 million for. It was like 2 years. I forgot what the contract was.
I think it was. I think it was like 2 years, 18 or 20 million, something like that. It was something like that. Quiani, thank you for thank you for writing. Do you think the Chiefs go back to AFC Championship? They'll probably go to the AFC Championship game, but like, I really think Baltimore's a team to watch out for. Now I know Lamar's got to prove that he can do it, like in the playoffs. I think he's very much like Dak in that he's got to answer that he can play in the playoffs. But I think Baltimore. If I'm Baltimore, I'm going to play more like the Eagles this year. With Henry, I'm playing more like him. So I'm going to be more like the Eagles. I think teams that run the ball well like that are going to be the teams that are there at the end. I do.
Oh, by the way, I think I forgot I saw the news. We're talking about the obviously top of the NFC. The Lions lost their starting center. He retired.
Oh, he did? I missed that.
He retired out of nowhere the other day. Yeah,
that's
out of
interesting.
Nowhere.
Yeah, that's interesting. Jack Dwight, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, look for the 6'8" guy to be the phantom injury. Yeah, it could be. It could definitely be on that offensive line. It happens. It could. Splenda says 500. I love hearing Giant fans saying their D-line will be great. That's cute. We have the best O-line in the league, and their O-line is still horrible. Well, that's what I'm saying. They already had a good defensive line. You know what I mean? So they already had a good defensive line. We have the offensive line that pretty much negates it. So to me, they don't scare me at all.
Yeah.
We'll see. They're all fighting in Giant camp anyways. Lawrence and Carter Burns, Thibodeau. That's a very good line, probably the best in the league. They got a good defensive line. They do. Lawrence is a stud. Abdul Carter, I think he's going to be a stud. Thibodeau, to me, is a little bit up
I thought
and
they
down.
were supposed to get rid of him. Did they never got rid of him?
They haven't gotten rid of him yet, but he's what? I think they picked up his contract. He's going to end up being a free agent if they don't get rid of him. If they don't trade him. And then they got the kid. They got the dude they got from
Panthers.
From the Panthers. I mean, they got a good defensive line, but you still could run on them. And what are they going to do offensively? And what the rest of what you call it? To me, the Giants are stupid. Because what's the point of Russell Wilson? You're going to go from 3 wins to 6 wins, and then you draft 11, 12, something like that. What's that help you? You're better off drafting, playing the rookie, seeing what he's got. Go ahead, get a top 3 pick, and then really, get something that changes things.
Yeah, it's true.
Problem is their defense is going to be out on the field a lot, and their teams are going to want
3 and out.
All right, look, they got a great pass rush. We're gonna use quick throws, and we're gonna run the ball, and they're gonna wear them out, and the Giants are gonna get their ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
going to happen.
You can have a great defensive line, but realistically, if they're on the field too much, they're just get tired out. It's going to take is one series downfield. I mean, it's all take one series downfield. That's all it's going to take.
I agree. What's good a great defensive line when you don't have a team that's in a position to
we lived through that. We've done that before where we really counted every time if we had one injury on the defensive line, we'd flip out because our secondary used to be suspect. A few years, it used to be suspect. We really had to rely on the defensive line, rely on the pressure all the time. But now you're drafting corners, you're drafting safeties, you're drafting linebackers now. I mean, it's got to be hand in hand. You can't rely on one position to do everything and let everything else clean up behind it. That's what it is.
Giants are a couple years away from, I really think, making an impact. And like I said, I think the Russell Wilson move hurt them. The thing is you want all those guys, the Abdul Carters and all those. You want them rushing, closing out game stuff. Teams are going to be running the ball to run the clock out against the Giants because the Giants are going to be down. They're not going to be throwing the ball. 500 Joey, what are your thoughts on Ty Robinson? Him and Carter are going to be a problem. I think Carter, Ojomo, and Jordan Davis are all a big problem. I think Robinson sounds like he's a beast, dude. I get like Watt type feeling from him. I think not. I know he's not an edge rusher, but man, I think he's going to be a stud, dude. I do.
Yeah, he's got a high motor. Like, he doesn't give up on play. Like, because that's the first thing when you look at DTs, when you draft them, especially, like, you see like how well if they have a high motor or not. Do they give up on plays? Or if the play is going away from them, do they like jog? Do they not really, like you see Jordan Davis the last few years, like if the play is going away from him, he will jog as fast as he can to go make that tackle across the field. He don't give a shit. But it's, know.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
He's going to be good. Giants could be a contender for third place in the division. Maybe, but that's bad news for the Cowboys if that's the case. They're saying there's a lot of rumors out that this is Dak's last season in Dallas. So we'll see. But
they just paid him.
Huh?
I'm just saying they just paid him.
See, Dallas to me, like Dallas to me, they're fundamentally flawed. Here's a team that does not run the ball well and can't stop the run. Well, you're not going to win in this league if you can't do those things. That's why I don't sweat Dallas at all. They can't do it. And then you look at their offensive line, all the young guys, that are on there that, big question marks. I think Dallas is in trouble.
Jadon Blue, Miles Sanders, like the run. I mean, what?
Yeah. Are you really worried about that run game? They're one-dimensional. Really. Yeah, they got Pickens. He'll help the passing game.
Yeah.
But dude, you can't run the ball. Nobody's biting on your play action. Okay? Nobody cares. They challenge you to run the ball. So, we'll see. I think the Eagles are going to beat the shit out of Dallas. It's going to be fun. It's going to be like a blowout. It's going to be embarrassing for Dallas, I think. It is. It's going and Dallas fans are going to get all quiet, and then they're going to win the next week, and then they're going to be like, see, we're back. But, that's a team that has a brand new coach, new offensive line. You got new pieces. Doesn't mean that you're going to go surprise everybody. Sometimes it means that you struggle trying to find your foothold. You know what I mean? It takes a while.
Yeah, I think the big test for the Eagles is really after the Dallas game. Those next 3 weeks, it's going to be a huge juggernaut, man. Like
because you got what? You got Kansas City, then the Rams. Yeah. So the Rams are legit to me contenders because they played us better than anybody.
Oh yeah, they were great. They're great,
but they can't stop the run. They got to stop Barkley. That's going to be Barkley had 4 carries. He had in both games he played the Rams. He had 2 carries that went over 50 yards each. So he had 4 carries in 2 games over 50-yard runs. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
So we'll see. Rogue says 500 Joe. We need to pay attention to the best 3 tight ends in college trade up. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you because I think right now going into next all season. I think the draft, we'll see how everything shakes up, but I think in tight end is where you got to go.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be missing tight end. You're going to be missing, really it's going to be tight end. And, besides maybe, if Dylan's going to be gone, but, this is Dotson's last year. So any ball that's thrown at him that comes his way, he's got to make the most out of it. And I think he's very talented. Like, I don't think the Eagles thought he wasn't talented or, they didn't depend on him. When you make a late trade right before the season starts like that, it is really tough for a receiver to really be involved. And because he didn't play all year in the regular season, like they were able to kind of trick teams a little bit and kind of put them into the game plan a little bit. In the Green Bay, the Green Bay game was an extension of the play for a touchdown, but the Super Bowl as well, because what Jahan Dotson gives you is like, if you want to move Smitty or AJ to the inside, you could do that because teams have to respect Jahan Dotson's speed on the outside. You could put Jahan Dotson on the outside, and this offense won't miss a beat in the passing game.
I love putting AJ in the slot sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody that can stop him in a slant. So I would like to see more of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Twitter will say, it's sad when Dallas' best defensive tackle is worse than our 5th defensive tackle on our roster. I know. It's so true, dude. It's so true. Afraid of David Superche goes, do we get a press the final day of OTA Tuesday? So what do they have OTA on Tuesday? I know they've got one day of mandatory. No. They have a mandatory camp.
Mini camp is on the 10th. I think OTA is done with.
That's it. That's the last of everything.
That's it.
That's a mandatory. Everybody should be. So Devontae Smith, they got to show. That's mandatory. You'll definitely get a presser. I'm almost positive you'll get a presser on Tuesday.
Yep.
I don't know. Probably the head coach, I'm guessing, but we'll see. Kyle Davis Superche goes, me personally, don't be surprised if the Eagles draft another defensive back next 2 rounds next year. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, you know what? Like they even, you don't even have to draft high, because realistically, like if they want to, I don't know what's in the cards for Cooper DeJean in the future. If they really want to move him around, because I mean, look, if you have injuries this year and at a specific position in the secondary, they can always move him. Realistically, it comes down to who else on this roster could play inside corner if need be, if you could move Cooper DeJean around. And the problem was last year, because they kept him at that inside corner spot because they just, that's where they wanted him. Yeah. Especially coming off late with that injury, the final preseason game. Now, if they want to move him, try to find somebody that can play the inside corner spot. Because last year, like, Ricks can't play the inside. Ringo can't play the inside. Rodgers rarely doesn't even play the inside. He has, but not much. Yeah. So I think that's really important. So we'll see.
It will be. I mean, we just have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Ty Eagles Flight David for being a member for 43 months. He goes, hey guys, do you feel good about safety? I feel okay about safety, but I do think there's question. Like, Kim Makumba, I think he's talented. I think he's going to be decent, but can he come in and play right away? So I won't say I feel good about safety. I think that would overstate it. I have legit questions about safety, but I feel that if there are issues, that I feel confident that they could easily solve it. Put it that way.
Yeah, and I think it's a wait and see approach with that position. Like, I think we have to get through. You have to get to preseason games to really see. Like Fangio said, we got to wait till preseason to see how that whole thing. I mean, he had a lot to say about Sidney Brown as well. Like, from 23 to 24, he went from one difference. It was a different scheme in 23.
I got the sense that he was like, I don't know. I felt he was a little cold on Sidney Brown.
Yeah.
When I listened to him.
I don't know, acting like maybe there was nothing to worry about with him. I mean, but and then he got it, then he had that injury, you know what I mean? And then it took him a while to come back. So he had an injury, and he had a lot of playing time in 23, and he hasn't, and hopefully this offseason he'll show a little bit more. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Dewey Lou, thank you for super chat. Thoughts on bringing free agent tight end Gabe Itch in?
Gabe Itch.
Well, we're all for it.
Yo, I literally thought it was like an itch, like an actual itch, but I put it together.
I see a bit of Brian Dawkins in DeJean's game. I think you're talking.
Yeah,
I see DeJean being utilized in the same ways in which you could use. You could build around a defensive back. I see some of that. What's your assessment of the Eagles' kicking game's also been weakness? I worry about it. I worry about Elliott because of the way he played last year, but I also think he was hurt. It would be nice, in my opinion, to have another kicker in for competition, but, we'll see.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. But I mean, is there anything else maybe you want to talk about? We're almost an hour and 20 minutes in. We got over 600 people at one point in here. We thank you guys.
Yeah, no.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I think, just lightly. Just I think special teams is going to change completely too. Like Michael Clay's probably going to have a brand new group because DeJean's not on punt returns anymore. We'll see the punt return. We'll see the punt return competition. You don't have, you have Shipley that's done kick returns. So maybe unless they brought him some speed guys at wide receiver, they brought him some speed guys.
Smith, watch Nia Smith. He's going to make his move, man. He's going to make his move.
I don't know.
One guy.
I don't. This is his last shot. Like this is it. Like he got to show something.
I think he can do punt returns. I think he can do them. So he might win on there, but we'll see. I mean, no COVID this year, so we'll see.
Yeah,
But let me thank everybody, guys, for joining us. Not just tonight, but all season long.
Yes,
it was a hell of a season, winning the Super Bowl. But Shakedown is coming to an end. We're going to go on break here, so you won't see another Shakedown until, probably the week before camp starts, somewhere in July, middle of July.
Yeah. We'll have we'll have a pre Shakedown before camp shows.
Yeah, but it just gets so slow after they finish their mini camp on the 10th, and then they're pretty much done.
Yeah.
So kind of chance to, just catch our breaths, regroup, and then get ready for the next season. So we want to thank you guys so much. I mean, we'll be putting out our own videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we appreciate the support. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Definitely. It's without you guys, it's it's we don't exist really. So
that's right. And we'll be back in a few weeks, I guess, month and next month, and we'll be ready to go. And of course, you'll see us with videos, out there. So, and if something crazy happens, you never know.
Yeah,
we could have an emergency.
If something happens, we'll have videos out, and then if we feel like we want to do like short stream on to talk about something, we could do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, guys, we're gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
And with that, we out of here. Peace.
2 minutes to go. You have plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over. Cut it off. It's over.
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay.
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today. That was on you, Dad. That was on you, Dad. That was on you, Dad.
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott. Trying to feed the lamb. You tried to feed the sea lamb. You got to give it to sea lamb. God. It's over. It's over, Dak. Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.